Shalom, Kohalo Yahabashan Abashai, Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Malcolm, continuing on. You already know what they did. I don't know why. But yeah, they cut the camera right in the middle of recording. So just continuing on. I used to just stop and start all over, but just going to continue on. And I was talking about how the front line of defense, someone fell asleep or wasn't paying attention and pretty much got all those people down there on the bottom floor killed. All right. So, and the difference in the building is that in this building, you know, when you came in, it was a big front, you know, a little lobby with glass doors, which they had barricaded. And then you walk back and there was elevators, and that's how you got up into the apartments. And on that first floor, you also had because it started at 3. So there was only one apartment on the second floor, which is where the manager of the building, the super, lived. All right. And he was the only one you could get to by foot. Everyone else you had to, you know, if you didn't enter the stairwell, you had to go, you know, you had to go up the elevators. But the strange thing is in this one, it's like the elevators were removed, and where the elevators were was a giant spiral staircase that went all the way up the building. So that was a difference. And these guys were coming up for the food and the women and the children. And it turns out that, you know, these people, not only were these marauders, you know, these raiders, when they came, it turned out that there was something much more than just people coming for food. And I remember being caught off guard because I get a warning, and I remember running into one of the apartments and trying to find where they were keeping the weapons, and I opened up a dresser drawer, and all the dresser drawers, all the top drawers had small automatic rifles in them, you know, and like mostly like MPG type weapons. And I just remember grabbing a couple clips and going into the hallway, and basically got myself in a place of cover. And everybody that came through, it must have been like 30-40 guys, man, and I pretty much took out everybody. But it was just so many of them, they just kept coming. And the ones at the back at the end, they weren't human, because they took the shots and they just kept coming, and that continuance, and that changed, and it turned into a hand-to-hand thing. And then literally I was fighting demons, man. And at that time I woke up, but it was revealed to me that these people not only were coming for the food, they were coming for the children because they wanted to sacrifice them. So it's going to be a lot of sick and disgusting things going on when these times come, man. When this, you know, and they keep talking about the dark winter, and this looks pretty much like snow on the ground and a pretty dark winter, man. You know, you got the dead cop on the ground, police cars. The matter of fact, now I'm looking at it, I didn't even notice it. To the left, it looks like this is a police lot. So pretty much the police have been destroyed. You got an ambulance over there. So yeah, it's gonna get pretty bad out here, man. Matter of fact, let's go back to that second Ezra and finish this up. And it's a shame that this video got broke up into 2 parts. It should have, you know, but I think that they be monitoring, and they just hear things and they get angry, man. But whatever. Oh, I'm in the right chapter, right book, wrong chapter. I'll go back to 15. So I just read through 2nd Ezra on through, starting at verse 14, and it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword." And the modern day sword is the gun. All right. But they're going to have actual swords too. Machetes, short swords, tomahawks, axes, hammers. All right. And I've been saying that for years, man. One of the number one things that people are going to be using for hand-to-hand combat is a hammer, because it's one of the most ready available things that you can get your hands on. And a hammer is a great tool, but it's also an incredible killing weapon that you can kill with ease, break bones, and a hammer is just as bad, if not worse, than a tomahawk. All right, but it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for the great tribulation. Because, like I said, it's going to be a lack of food, which is going to turn people against each other. And like I said, they were coming for the children for sacrifices, but they're also going to be eating people. All right. So, as a matter of fact, a guy like that in the snow, you lose a fight, you might end up gutted, beheaded, and your limbs, on a spigot, being turned around in fire. They showed you that in the movie The Road. All right, they were beheading people, gutting them right where they were. They showed you that in the movie Road, man. The bodies that were laying there, they took all the entrails out, their intestines and all their guts and stuff, and they chopped off their heads, and then they would cook their arms and legs, man. All right, so that's gonna be going on. And remember that movie Snowpiercer, that scene when he says, you know what I hate about myself? He said, one of the things I hate about myself is that I know what human flesh tastes like. All right, what human meat tastes like. And he said, you know what I hate even more? He said, I know that babies taste the best. All right, so it's not going to take long when this society breaks down for people to turn to cannibalism. All right, because I just read a scripture, I can't remember it, but it says they will eat the flesh of their sons and their daughters or something like that. See if I can find that real quick. I was just reading that. Now it's angering me that yeah. There it is, Jeremiah 19:9. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters. And they shall eat everyone the flesh of his friend in the siege and the straitness. So the straitness meaning when those hard times come. All right, you look how the supply chain is being disrupted and broken down. All right, eventually there's going to be no food on the shelves, man. Or the food is going to cost so much, the average person is not going to be able to afford it. So the first thing will probably happen is what's already happening. You'll just have people robbing people in the parking lots of the grocery stores. All right, and then they'll get security and things out there. But then security's only going to do so much, because as a security person, it's going to be like, well, they don't pay me enough for this. When these marauders come, swinging machetes and shooting pistols, coming after people for their food. All right. But once again, it says Jeremiah 19:9, and I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and the straitness, wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straighten them. So it's going to get really, really bad, really, really fast. There's not a whole lot of time. All right. 2022 is going to be way worse than the 2 years before. All right. Because they kind of eased up in 21 because they weren't ready for that chaos yet. That's why they eased up. They weren't ready for that chaos because people on the verge of rebelling. But now, it seems that they're ready for it. So it seems. So we're going to see what's going to happen, man. But it's going to all be bad. And this could very well be the year of the return of the Lord. The signs are all on, it's all, the prophecies are just literally walking off the pages, man. They keep showing you in movies and in cartoons and commercials, they keep showing the UFOs, which we know are the chariots of Israel, the IFOs, they are identified. The hot movie right now is Don't Look Up. And we're constantly looking up all the videos of us, chanting and praising the Lord while we see the chariots, and the chariots start acting up and showing off for us. Okay, the demonization, they keep it's like every other week, every other month, there's a short news clip talking about the black Hebrew Israelites, even though they're showing you Hispanics and people who are non so-called black, because there's a new one out now with a Hispanic couple, and their two daughters and her ex-husband died, and now they're saying that he died because of their extreme beliefs, and the daughters believed in what their father believed, and they were following some extreme sect of the black Hebrew Israelites, according to who's been identified as a hate group, according to the Anti-Defamation League. As if the Anti-Defamation League is any type of authority. All right. It's funny how there's been hate groups all along in America, and none of them were identified as hate groups. When they were doing some of the most damaging and hateful things. And now you got a group of people, all they do is read the Bible, and they just so badly want to connect us to something, violent, et cetera, et cetera. It's just, but they're going to do these type of things, and it's not going to stop or anything. Matter of fact, you can do nothing against this truth, only for it. It's just going to be found to be liars and get exposed, because that's what's happening, and that's what makes them angry about the videos and content like this, which go into the scriptures and break down, prophecy. All right. And so with that, I hope this was edifying and uplifting to those who needed to hear it. Call Halal Yahweh Bashim Abashai Bashim Bakar Kwam Yasarala.